What's going on, guys? It's Barrett here from the Sealed Reef, coming to you with a, I guess, hands-on and how to approach for the Algae Barn Coralline in a bottle series. This is not obviously a sponsored video because I'm not sponsored by anybody, but I am just getting started on the Planet Aquariums 155 we've been talking about the past couple months. And I went ahead and bought the Coralline algae in a bottle, both the purple and the pink. So we're gonna go through the instructions step by step. And we're gonna start today, which was August 29th, and we'll do a 1 month and then 2 month update, and we'll see how we do in 2 months. And then according to them, it's supposed to be probably see things within 8 to 10 weeks, which is right around that threshold of 2 to 3 months. So we'll see how it goes. But let's get started with following the instructions on turning off the equipment. Step 1 on the Algae Barn instructions here, it says to remove filter sock or turn off canister filter, which I don't have canister filters, so I'll be removing the filter socks. I'll turning off the protein skimmer here, so I'll go down to my skimmer, which is the Niles 160. That will turn that off. And then my UV sterilizer comes on tonight at around 10 p.m. or 8 p.m., one of the two. So I'll make sure that's off for the duration of the evening, just so this stuff does what it's supposed to do. Then I'll turn off the UV pump because I don't need that. And I think that's it for tonight. So we'll basically just be turning on, leaving on the power heads, leaving on the circulation, ensuring the filter socks are out of the sump, and then we'll be good to go to pour this in there. All right, guys, so step 3 is to shake vigorously these guys, so we'll just give them a good shake. If these are warm from shipping, they do come in a cool pack, but since it's summertime, they did not come cool. They were not hot, but they weren't cold like the shipping pack should have been, which is usually no fault to Algae Barn, just happened to be that way because of the shipping time. But anyway, make sure they come to room temperature before you pour these in here. So give these a good shake, and they'll go ahead and pour them in the aquarium here. So pretty simple process. I'm just gonna pour these in together. I don't know if the fish are gonna like this or not. They don't, I'm sorry. So then it says basically I'm gonna refill some of these back to 3/4 way with aquarium water. I'm gonna give it a good shake too from there. So just pour that back in. And then now I'm gonna do this, but use the brush. So they provide a really nice little bottle brush to use to get any of the spores off the sides of the wall. So that's what I'm gonna do here with this little handy dandy brush they got. And then pour that back in. All right. And then same thing with this guy. Let's go with the purple. We're gonna do 1 rinse with the aquarium water, and then we'll do 1 more rinse with the bottle. So the reason I'm doing this step by step and not any kind of fluctuation from the instructions, I want to make sure I'm doing exactly the same thing they want me to do with their products. And so just to have actually an accurate sample, take a sample of this here in a month or two to make sure if it worked or didn't work. I'm assuming it does. Due to their pretty strenuous R&D process there at Algae Barn, but just want to make sure I follow the instructions as best as possible. So that would be step 4 there. Refill half the bottle with aquarium water, then use the brush inside, and then basically I'm gonna wait minimum of 2 hours to turn it back on, either the filter socks, the UV sterilizer, or any kind of filtering, which I'm not gonna have all night. So I'm gonna have my skimmer off, I'm gonna have my filter socks removed, and all I'm gonna have is the return pump circulating through the sump, and then have my MP40s circulating the spores within the aquarium. So we'll check up here in about a 1 month time to see where we're at, and hopefully you guys enjoy the process. Thanks a lot. All right, guys, what's up? Let's go over what the 2.5 month or so, actually it's almost 3 months since I put in the Algae Barn purple / Coralline algae kit. I did a overview on how to put it in and how I apply it to the tank, and kind of want to go over some results with you guys on what I've experienced thus far. So I do keep my levels pretty much spot on. So I'm right around 8.8 to 9.0 on the alkalinity. I'm right at 450. This is as of last night for calcium. And my mag is right at 1375 for my mag. I do the Reef Moonshiners method as well for trace elements. So I do monthly corrections via ATI ICP test, and I do daily doses of trace elements as well. Iodine, vanadium, cobalt, chromium, iron, and manganese, I believe, is the other one. But anyway, so as you can see, it's not exactly covered and plastered with coralline algae. So obviously you can see on the back overflow there's some that has sprouted up. I have had in the past another method in which I've already documented via YouTube of how I did coralline algae growth, and that one seemed to have grown things much faster. There is some, it's hard to see on the rocks, but there is some definite coralline growth on some of the areas. But overall, it has not been a blanket of coralline that I've experienced in the past with my other method of adding actual coralline fine chips from other tanks and seeded it in here. So I'd give it a, in terms of a bulk reef supply level of authenticity, it's probably a more of a reef fantasy on if it works for me at least. This might be different from you guys on your particular tanks, but I keep my tanks very, very clean, very, very steady, and fairly pretty dang perfect in terms of water parameters for the major elements and trace elements. So as you can see, I have, you know, all polyp attention on all my acro frags. Everything looks fantastic. In fact, that tubstellata colony in the back there, this guy was hugely depleted, receded on its skin tissue. And this is from a tank that I got from an older tank that was struggling. So I took this one back from him, and it is now recovered amazingly. Same thing with this bicolor or grafted Montipora there. That thing was super struggling. You can see the little burnt tip on the end there, which is pointing out in the middle. That thing was much bigger and that has grown over. So the levels in my tank are pretty fantastic, but the coralline has not blown up like I've seen in the past with my other method. Now, I don't know why, but that's just reality of what I'm looking at right now. So you guys can make your own judgments on if you want to try that Algae Barn purple coralline algae growth kit. And you can make that own assumption for yourselves. But for me, it was fairly, frankly, a disappointment. So I'll probably do my seeding method here shortly to get the coralline really growing on the rocks, but that's what you see. If you guys have any questions, let me know. I'm glad to answer them. This is not a knock against Algae Barn. This is simply my experience from doing it step by step and keeping my levels just right. So anyway, hope you guys found this video useful for you guys in your purchasing decisions. And if you have any questions, please leave a comment. If you want to see some more videos from me on different ideas for making your reef better, let me know and subscribe. Thanks guys, have a great day.